YouTube, what's going on? She got Professor Smell Good. And today we are actually talking about the jack of all trades today. If you don't know what the jack of all trades is, like maybe 3 months ago, I came up with this topic where I had the actual writing board, the white writing board, and I came up with 30 different ways you can actually sell oils. And one of them was, and then I actually mentioned that to be able to sell oils, to get the best benefits out of selling oils and to stand out from everybody else, you have to have the jack of all trades, or you have to be the jack of all trades. Meaning, from each and every type of profession, doesn't mean that you have to master that profession, but you take some key points from that profession that you can use as far as your business selling oils. It's some things that you can use from other professions that will help you take your oil game to the next level. All right. So today, the topic today from Jack of all trades is psychologist. Now, there's a lot of misconceptions about the psychologist. They say, oh, the psychologist, they always trying to read your mind. That's not true. A psychologist is actually someone that tells you how people think, or they knows how people think. All right. So, from the let's get into how thinking like a psychologist to some extent can be beneficial for you selling oils. Let's say, for example, a person walks in the door, right? A person walks in the door, and person comes in. Let's say you got to set up and everything. A person walks in the door, and as soon as they walk in, they see your setup of oils, and then they see your setup of oils, and then they just turn their face like, they give that type of look like, oh, here we go with these oils again. I hate, they give that type of look, like that stank look. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like oils. For that type of customer, what you want to do is you want to use psychology. Don't even approach them. Just speak and let them go. How are you doing today, miss? And you just let them go. Well, now, what is that going to do? Because at the end of the day, and I'm actually expounding on actually a more intense version of that after I finish with this one. And so if a person, they don't want to buy from you and they're showing signs, you don't actually want to get them to the point where, they don't want to buy. You just still trying to push the sell. You're trying to finish the deal. And you say, man, listen, I told you I don't want no oils. I told you I don't want no oils, man. Come on, because that would actually fuel a person to become more angry. And then if you're in a setup where, you actually have to pay rent, and, a person can report you, so you got to use pros and cons. Is it worth it to try to close a deal with this person and they're not going to buy it to begin with? In return to lose that spot where you're setting up at, and probably that can be your only source of income, it's not worth it. In that case, you got to think like a psychologist. You got to think like a psychologist. All right. And a lot of times, when you're speaking, they walk past and, they probably feel bad about it and say, you know what, man, let me buy something from you. They're not buying it because they want to buy it. They buying it because pretty much, your demeanor have pretty much had an impact on them. That you actually caught on to what they was actually thinking about just from a facial expression. You follow me? That's, you taking that expertise from a psychologist and you using it to your advantage. Another example. A guy could walk inside of the shop, and them guys that they walk and they got their chest up, and he got the yays on his face, he got the Cartiers on his face, and he walked very arrogant, like he can just walk straight through a mountain, and it's very visible that this guy thinks that he is very tough and he don't want nobody to say anything to him. What you do is, in that case like that, you don't try to sell anything to him. Because a person like that thinks he's hard, he's looking for a reason to actually give you a problem in which you don't want. So what you do is you just nod. You don't even speak, just nod. Nod, out of respect.